Hello, Oikos family. Welcome to the Oikos Family Podcast, episode 18. In case you don't know, episodes 15, 16, and 17 have all been about healthy living and the healthy lifestyle. I started this little mini-series in the Oikos Family Podcast about healthy living on the topic of cleanup because I wanted to encourage you to clean up, as in, well, let me not go into the as in. Let me just encourage you to please listen to 15, 16, and 17, which is all about that topic of cleanup. So today what I wanted to do is I wanted to talk to you, just continue on this topic of healthy living, and this is going to be the last podcast on this particular topic. You may be aware by now that I could actually do a few hundred episodes on healthy living just because of where we've come from, in the fact that we, had a lot of reason to change our thinking, change our lifestyle, change our daily living when it came to considering health. But anyway, all of that is in a book that I wrote. I did a book on the testimony of our journey, and it's called Abundant Life. Now that book, I'm hoping to narrate it so that it'll be an audiobook for you one day. When that happens, I will tell you on one of the podcasts, yay, we've done an audiobook on Abundant Life. At the moment, I've only done one audiobook, our very first, and that's Letters from Granny Oikos. And that's just available for you. If you want to go and get that, it's on audiobooks.com and other places. You can just do a Google search and see if you can find it. Letters from Granny Oikos. So that's just another topic. Basically, I'm talking about it because I'm excited about this audiobook narration that we are doing, audiobook productions, should I say, because we're narrating some of our authored books and making them available as audiobooks. And I plan to do that with Abundant Life so that one day I can talk to you more about this topic, as in just read the book I've written. Okay. But before I just close off on this topic altogether, because I'm a little hesitant to go into too much detail on it, just because I know there's so much in the book of Abundant Life that I authored some time ago now. But anyway, I wanted to, before closing off entirely on this topic, I wanted just to leave you with a few little practical ideas of things to get on with to maybe make the change to a more abundant life and a healthier living. You would have picked up from previous episodes that I've used the topic of bread as just a practical, simple step that you can take to make change in your home with regard to going on to a healthier living lifestyle, just a healthier road. So today I wanted to talk to you about a couple of other ideas. I hope that bread is in place for you already, that you are doing something about that and that you have started making your own bread. And if you haven't, I hope you can go and watch one of the Oikos live streamings. Now, I don't remember the episode, but we'll put it in the show notes about the value of doing your own homemade bread and all that pertains to that. So I hope you can go and watch that if you haven't already. But to give you a few extra tips, the one is that has become part of our daily living. You see, I'm only going to focus on the daily things because there's so much else, but the daily things that really stand out for us is the bread, number one. The other thing is juicing. Now, I know this is a huge topic and there's so much that can be discussed regarding juicing, but let me just simplify it and say to you that we just juice every morning. When I say I did it for years, and now Greg, my husband, does juicing for us, and then sometimes we'll go through a little season where we're not doing juicing, and then we're sorry for that because we feel the benefits of it when we do it. But juicing for us just simply means the following. It's taking some simple vegetables, say carrots and apples and spinach and whatever else we have available that we've been able to get. Let's say at the moment it's orange season, so we've got lots of oranges or pineapples. So just whatever's available to you in the season that you're in, wherever you are. In the world, and you're listening to this, you will know what is available to you, what's readily available to you. You take that and you juice it. And literally, it took me, when I was doing juicing, and now Greg is doing it, it literally takes 10 minutes or so a day. Now, let me tell you that 10 minutes is really, really, really worthwhile for the following reasons. One, if you can give your family some freshly squeezed juice every morning, being all the different ingredients that I've mentioned, whichever is appropriate to you, and you give that to your children first thing in the morning as their first drink, before they have their breakfast, before they have anything else, you give them a little bit, just an inch in the bottom of a glass. So it's not like you have to make volumes of juice. You just give them an inch of juice that you have prepared, and they swallow that. Do you know what happens? It goes straight into their system. It gets immediately absorbed into their bloodstream because it doesn't have to go through the whole digestive process. And straight away, you have given your children vitamins and minerals and goodness into their system at the start of a day. So I don't know if you agree with me right now, but to me, that is just a huge blessing to know that as a parent that you can do that for your children every day. And by doing that, you are actually imparting something more than just the vitamins and minerals that you are giving them each day, but we hope that you're also imparting a lifestyle to them that helps them to realize the value of taking care of their bodies, looking after the temples that God has given them to look after. I'm just thinking of when our married daughter and her husband came into Oikos base every day when they were still in-house. And we used to take juice to them each morning in a little glass bottle, and we gave them this juice and they could sit there at their desks and sip away on the juice. Again, not a huge volume, just a little bit. Like when I say a little bit, I'm meaning a quarter of a cup at the very most. And I just know that by being able to do that and give that to them as adults, what was happening was that we knew that we were imparting goodness, physical goodness. We were aiding and supporting and assisting in that, even though they were adults. So basically what I'm saying is it's not just little children that I'm focusing on here. I'm talking about the goodness for you as the parent as well. You yourself, the mom, if you're listening to this, your husband, whoever it might be, who is partaking of taking in juice every day is just, to me, a fantastic blessing. Oh my goodness, listen to that. That was my phone making a funny sound. And if, in case you can hear another funny sound, you know what it is? It's rain on the roof. Now, I come into our little audio booth here to do this podcast, and within seconds of me standing in here, it starts raining, and it's quite evident to me on the roof that the rain is making a noise. And I thought, I'm not going to not do the podcast just because it's raining. I'm just going to press on. So if you hear the rain, if you hear funny background noise, it's just patter raindrops on the roof. So I just wanted to give you another little daily tip for this particular podcast 18, because what I'm hoping is that I don't give you too much so that you will go into the week after listening to this podcast and you will start applying juicing, apply making bread, and just put these things into action, because I just really, really believe that they can only do good on so many levels. I mean, I'm just not just on the health level, not just on nutrition, even the mind. I remember in a previous podcast I shared with you a little story about that my husband Greg loves to share, about our son Jamie, who found his mind quietened down when he stopped having sugar. Oh, that's another thing I can give you on this podcast, is to say, take sugar out of your home. And by the way, you don't have to just toss it out and then you've got crying children because suddenly, they don't have all the nice, yummy, sweet things anymore. But what you can do is you can replace it. This is something that I've spoken about previously. If you're going to take something away that your children think is a good thing, replace it with something better. An example now, let's just talk about sugar for a minute. An example would be this. If you took sugar out of your home, replace it with making a smoothie. So I've spoken to you about the juice, and the juice is very sweet, by the way. It's not, doesn't taste like mud or something terrible. It's a sweet taste when you juice those different ingredients I was telling you about, such as carrots and apples and pineapple. It makes a nice sweet juice. Okay, but so if you're going to take sugar out, you could actually make a smoothie. Now, if you think of a smoothie that's got bananas in it and honey, for example, and some nuts, and we could spend some time on smoothies now, but go and do some research on smoothies and see how you can make such a huge variety of smoothies for your family. It does not take much, as far as preparation and time, but the goodness is so, so, so worth it. So when you give a child a smoothie that's got banana in it and honey, it's really, really sweet. You don't need sugar at all. You don't need to add sugar. Okay. I've just thought of something now regarding the smoothies. One person said to me once that they can't drink smoothies because the child doesn't like the texture, and they can't bear the texture, and it's too thick and gungy. And I said to them, put some ice blocks in. When you make your smoothie, throw a few ice blocks in to water it down, make it really cold, because it actually makes it more palatable for those that find that thickness too much for them from a texture point of view. So you see, there's a way. You just persevere. Please persevere. I'm going to really encourage you to please persevere. Persevere with your cleanup. Persevere with your juice making. Don't think it's just all going to happen in a day. That's why I'm only giving you one thing at a time here. I'm saying clean up for this week. Then I'm saying get the bread thing going and get it into place. Get yourself a bread maker. Save up for it. Get a bread maker. They're not hugely expensive. It takes 5 minutes of your day to throw some ingredients into a bin and push the button, and you're going to give your children a healthy homemade bread. Start the juicing. Yes, you might need to get yourself a juicer. There's another expense, but spend money on those things rather than on buying fast food. Really, really. If you just start eliminating the amount of time, the amount of money spent and time spent on getting fast foods, and you just kept that aside until you had enough to buy yourself a juicer and you got a juicer instead, then that is what I'm encouraging you with today, to please consider this. Do you know what? I'm going to be quiet for a minute and see if you can hear this rain. It is actually very unseasonal for it to be raining in winter where we are in South Africa. We don't have rain in the winter. We have rain in the summer. And the province we are in is KwaZulu-Natal. And the rain is just coming down in torrents. It's so unusual. So do you know what? I'm going to say goodbye to you now. It is now the end of this podcast, episode 18. Thank you for listening all the way to the end. And please go and do some juicing. And please stay committed on this road of conversion into healthier living. Do that. Do it for yourself, for the adults in your family and the children in your family, and realize that the gift that you're imparting to your children will be something that they can take into their adult life. Not just the goodness and the health that you're giving them today, but an actual lifestyle. So thank you for listening, and I really, really hope that you are going to be blessed by these changes that you're going to make. Until the next podcast then. Bye for now.